Robert Burns was a Scottish poet and lyricist who is widely celebrated as Scotland's national poet. He's famous for exploring themes of love, friendship, social injustice, and the beauty of Scotland. He wrote in Scots and Standard English and the Scottish dialect of the English language. His work often reflects the struggles of his time, including those of tenant farmers and the social inequalities that he witnessed. To a Mouse is a wonderful example of these characteristics, and it contains a proverbial expression that we still repeat today. Before we get into the analysis of this poem, let's read the whole thing. To a Mouse by Robert Burns. On turning her up in her nest with the plough, November 1785. Wee sleekit cowrin timorous beastie, oh what a panic's in thy breastie. Thou needna start away so hasty with bicker and brattle. I wad be laith to rid and chase thee with murder and prattle. I'm truly sorry man's dominion has broken nature's social union, and justifies that ill opinion which makes thee startle at me, thy poor earthborn companion, and fellow mortal. I doubt na whiles but thou may thieve. What then, poor beastie, thou mun live? A dayman icker in a thrave's a small request. I'll get a blessing with a lave, and never missed. Thy wee bit housey to in ruin, its silly was the winds are strewin', and Nathan now to big a newin, o foggage green, and bleak December's winds ensuin, bathe snell and keen. Thou saw the fields laid bare and waste, and weary winter comin' fast, and cozy here beneath the blast thou thought to dwell, till crash the cruel coulter passed out through thy cell. That wee bit heap o' leaves and stibble has cost thee mony a weary nibble, but now thou's turned out for all thy trouble. But house or hold to thole the winter's sleety dribble, and crannock called. But Mousie, thou art know thy lane, and proven foresight may be vain. The best laid schemes of mice and men gang aft agly, and lay us naught but grief and pain, for promised joy. Still thou art blessed compared with me. The present only touches thee, but I backwards cast my ye on prospects drear, and forward, though I canna see, I guess and fear. The epigraph is very important to our understanding of this poem. The speaker has turned up a mouse's nest with a plough, and this is important, it's in November. So you obviously notice that blend of English and Scottish dialect right from the start. So what's he even saying in the first stanza? Wee sleekit cowrin timorous beastie, oh what a panic's in thy breastie? It's easier to understand than you think, I think. Wee means little, sleekit, sleek, cowrin is cowering, timorous is timorous or timid, beastie is little beast or creature. Oh, what a panic's in your chest, your heart, the place where we feel panic, right? You don't need to run away so hastily, so quickly, with bicker and brattle. That's in such a rush or flurry. I wad be laith to rin and chase thee with murder and prattle. That means I would be loath to run and chase thee, and I'm unwilling to chase and kill you with my plow staff. He's saying, don't worry, little mouse, I won't harm you. The language in the second stanza is completely different. I'm truly sorry man's dominion has broken nature's social union, and justifies that ill opinion which makes thee startle at me, thy poor earthborn companion and fellow mortal. The switch in language from dialect to standard English reinforces the shift in the subject. This stanza is more generally philosophical. In Genesis 1 verses 26 to 28, humanity was given dominion over the natural world. In the West in particular, we misunderstood this word. Instead of understanding ourselves as stewards, we took that word to mean dominate. And this often means that our relationship with nature is antagonistic. We fight against mice, for instance, as they try to eat our grain. Consequently, this little mouse doesn't trust human beings not to bust its little brains out with a plow staff. The speaker does not see humans as completely superior to the mouse. He talks about the social union between humans and nature, and that mice and men are earthborn companions and fellow mortals. We share many things and are the same in many ways. The next stanza returns to the Scottish dialect. I doubt na whiles but thou may thieve. What then, poor beastie, thou mun live? A dayman icker in the thrave's a small request. I'll get a blessing with the lave, and never missed. In this stanza, the speaker tells the mouse that no doubt it will on occasion steal a dayman icker in the thrave, an ear of corn from the bundle. You've got to live. It's not really much to ask. I will get a blessing from the rest, and I won't miss that little bit that you take. And then the speaker farmer turns towards the immediate issue of the wrecked mouse house. Thy wee bit housey too in ruin, its silly was the winds are strewin', and nathing now to build a new one o' foggage green, and bleak December winds ensuin', bathe snell and keen. The house is ruined and the silly was, the feeble walls are strewn across the field. There is nothing left to build a new one out of, no coarse grass. And the problem is that December's winds are on the way, and they are sharp and biting. Things are not looking good for this mouse. The farmer's growing empathy for the mouse is clear in the next stanza. Thou saw the fields laid bare and waste, and weary winter comin' fast, and cozy here beneath the blast thou thought to dwell, till crash, the cruel coulter passed out through thy cell. The mouse saw the fields laid bare and waste. The harvesting is all done, and the barrenness of autumn is upon us. And the mouse anticipated the coming winter, and it set itself all up for survival. And then the cruel plow blade crashes through its cozy den. The next stanza still addresses the mouse, but there's a hint that we aren't just talking about mice here. That wee bit heap o' leaves and stibble has cost thee money a weary nibble. Now thou's turned out for all thy trouble, but house are hulled to thole the winter's sleety dribble, and cranach cold. The little pile of materials for the creation of the mouse's home came at a cost. The mouse worked hard, and for all that trouble, the mouse is turned out of house and holdings. That is, land. Mice don't really have holdings, but we are not just talking about mice here. Back in Burns's day, there were many Scottish tenant farmers who were displaced from the land that they had farmed for generations. There were all kinds of reasons for this, but none of them were in their control. They were left without home or livelihood, house or hold. This line draws a parallel between these displaced farmers and the mouse who is now left out in the sleety rain and the hoarfrost. And this next stanza has that famous line, the one we still say. But mousey, thou art no thy lane, and proving foresight may be vain. The best laid schemes of mice and men gang aft agly, and lay us not but grief and pain for promised joy. But mousey, you are not alone in proving that planning ahead may not be of any use. The best laid schemes of mice and men gang aft agly. That's the original, but most people these days say the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. It means that a lot of the time the happiness and joy that we anticipate turns out to be nothing but grief and pain. And while that sounds bad, it actually gets worse. Still, thou art blessed compared with me. The present only touches thee, but I backward cast my ee on prospects drear, and forward though I canna see, I guess and fear. The speaker says that the mouse is better off than the human. The mouse lives in the moment, so it only has to worry about the here and now. Human beings can look in the past and they can see that their prospects were never very good. And we can look to the future and worry about all the terrible things that could happen to us. In the end, To a Mouse isn't just about a tiny creature whose nest was destroyed. It's about how uncertain life is for all of us. Burns reminds us that the best laid plans can collapse in an instant, and that grief and fear are a part of life, part of the life of all creatures. What makes this poem timeless is its compassion, its ability to see the shared vulnerability between man and mouse. And maybe, just maybe, if we can learn to treat each other, and we are not just talking about mice here, treat each other and the world around us with the same tenderness, well then we'd be a little bit more provided for when our own nests are turned over. I've got another Robbie Burns poem for you next time, but this one's going to be a little lighter. You're going to love it. Thank you, and we will see you there.